Hello, my name is Dr. Cheryl Thompson. I am faculty in performance at the Creative School, Toronto Metropolitan University. I am also director of the Laboratory for Black Creativity. Welcome to our series, Remixing the Archive, Conversations with Black Creatives. In this episode, Building an Artist Archive, we feature Atlanta-based multidisciplinary artist, archivist, and curator Sierra King, who shares her innovative approach to remixing the archive and blending her artistry with documenting life. King's approach asks us to think about two questions. What is an archive, and who can archive? Sierra King's creative and arts administration work is dedicated to documenting, preserving, and archiving the work of Black women artists. Sierra holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in art from Valdosta State University. In 2020, she was awarded the Billops-Hatch Fellowship Award to continue research for Build Your Archive, an interactive assessment plan to help Black women artists build their archives in real time. She is currently the Community Arts Manager for TILA Studios, a visual arts incubator for Black women artists. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know by liking, sharing, and commenting on our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram at the Black Creative Lab. And now, here's Sierra King.
Hey y'all, I am Sierra King. I'm an artist, archivist, and a curator, and I am the founder, creator of Build Your Archive. And today I want to talk with you about what that looks like, and how that, I guess, works in with my creative practice across just photography, curating, and all the other things that I do. What is my creative practice? I like to say that I'm a visual documentarian, artist, archivist, and a curator, like I said before. And how that works is mostly I start with photography, just documenting things in my daily life, documenting communities, documenting things I'm doing or projects that I'm doing. And then as an artist, I take that documentation and either work with it in particular projects, like working with Black women artists and documenting their practices, or doing archival installations where I take objects that are in photographs and bring them back into the physical space. And so that pushes me more into the archivist role of understanding the role of objects and what that does in preserving them. And then as a curator, I just like to bring people together and have conversations about either those objects, or bringing together artists that are working in similar conversations to, I guess, either make an exhibition or have an artist talk. And so my creative practice just depends on the day. What is an archive to you? An archive, really, it's memories mostly for me. The first archive that I knew was my grandmother's living room, and my great grandmother's living room, and she just had photos from floor to ceiling, and it was just really where I came to know that photography was something to be respected and revered, and was a way to talk about the people that you loved. And then I really also see it as the information and knowledge that we carry. I don't necessarily believe that archives should just be held in institutions, but inside of communities and inside of people, there's loads of information and knowledge that people have that may not be considered academic or institutionalized, but it's still worthy of that history and that personal narrative. And I think when we start getting into the act of activating that knowledge, those memories, and that information, then it just makes it more tangible. Um, why are archives important to creativity? Um, I think it's important to creativity because it's something that we look back to for reference, even when we don't like realize it. So you may go to a book, or you may go to a library, or you may go to a reference material, and all those things are different parts of archives, and maybe they influence a choice that you're making inside of your work, or a composition, or a certain color palette. And from that particular like research or archival research, then you're pulling from that to make something new or have a new conversation. And I like to believe like those reference points are continuing that like string or through line of creativity that we've been having for a long time across everyone's practice, and thinking about like just um, how creativity is just a continued conversation across people's practices. How do I engage with archives? Like I said before, it just depends on what I'm working with. So as a documentarian, I'm documenting. As a archivist, I'm preserving, and as a um, curator, I'm either activating the archive or sharing the archive. And so understanding what each role does in the process of archiving just helps me engage with it intentionally, um, and allows me to be present with the materials. So like I said, some days I find myself documenting, other days I find myself in a database or inventory, inputting information. I believe that the days I'm able to share information with people and have conversations about that information to be the most rewarding, because then you're able to like just find the nuances in things that like, oh, I like collecting books, or I like talking about music, or I like diving into different genres of this particular like object, as far as like maybe black figurines or something like that. And so it's able to like open up different worlds that people are already like have access to. It's just putting them in front of one another. Um, if I could go back to my high school self and have a conversation, what would I tell myself? I would tell myself to be patient and just continue asking questions. I was always in a rush to be like in the future, like something is happening, something's going to come, like something is on the way, but I never was like really super present about like where I was. So I would just say like just be more present, but also like continue asking questions about like the role of just being an artist and how that can change over time. Like I started out as a photographer, but I realized in the middle of it that archiving and installation is definitely a part of what I love to do, and working with objects and how that can be implemented into my photography practice is something that I'm still working with and allowing myself to have space for. Um, Finish this sentence. I am. I'm excited about my future and how the questions that I'm currently asking about music, about time, and about just how people spend time with the objects that they love can open up bigger conversations about what exactly an archive is. I think that we're in a time where we can redefine um, particular standards and particular narratives that aren't necessarily inclusive of all communities. I feel like at the place I am in my, not only in my creative practice, but also in my like community or independent scholar practice that I still have a lot to experience, but I'm also excited about it. Um, yeah, and so I just hope that like being able to talk about archives more with people, open up that conversation to just that redefining of what an archive is. It could be as simple as like a china cabinet of Black figurines that your grandmother has been curating since you were a child, or it could be walking into her living room where you see the photographs from floor to ceiling, and really taking advantage uh, of our elders and the contributions that they made to this industry. And continuing that. And so I really appreciate not only that coming from my family, but seeing that across different history keepers and memory keepers, specifically Black memory keepers, and the work that they decided to do. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I appreciate this opportunity to talk about remixing the archive. And I hope that you all follow me on the internet somewhere. You can find my website at buildyourarchive.com. I'm also on Build Your Archive on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sierra Chas, so SIERRACHAS, and IRL Time. And yeah, I hope to see you soon somewhere.
Thank you, Sierra King, for your insights, your work, and your willingness to share your creative practice with the world. And thank you for watching episode 2 in our series, Remixing the Archive. Stay tuned for episode 3, Photography and Performances Archive, featuring artist, writer, and curator Anique Jordan, in conversation with Lisa Cox, who you will remember from episode 1.